I did miss you. Yes, it's nice to see you. I can't tell who's talking to me, but it doesn't matter. I am shooting a new show, which hopefully will become a series. Right now it's just a pilot, but what I have seen on set so far gives me hope that it will become a series, because I think that it's quite good so far, especially the stuff with Harvey Dent in it. That's the character that I'm playing. It's cool. It's kind of an epic show. It's just big. We have a lot of like, you know, 100 background actors on a given day. On Supernatural, I think we peaked out at 4 background actors. But it'll be interesting. It's here we are. We're doing these ostensibly Supernatural conventions, yes? But now all of the actors have moved on to do other things because they don't have any loyalty. And it will be curious to see how this polyamorous dynamic plays out with you all. Will you be willing to keep us on if we are also seeing other shows?
As long as the sex stays good.
Someone in the front row just said, as long as the sex stays good.
I have a Castiel tattoo because he means a lot to me. So if Cass had to get a tattoo for another character from the show, who would the person be and what would the tattoo be?
I think Cass would probably likely get a grumpy cat tattoo and on his face. What's your Cass tat?
It's you, as Cass from The Man Who Would Be King.
That's really nice. Why is Castiel important to you?
Oh, God.
I mean, you have a tattoo.
When I get tattoos, it means I had a lot of money and no one stopped me.
It's not a sign of emotional attachment to the character. It is just perspicuous consumption. It's me trying to show the world just how rich I am.
I'm not rich.
Thank you very much. I would love to hear the next woman's question here.
So, I'm so excited about you being cast as Harvey Dent. Love the Batman series, of course. In general.
Great.
I was hoping to find out which is your favorite version of the Joker, and who's your favorite villain besides Two-Face?
Well, the Dark Knight Joker is kind of hard to. That's some excellent Jokering. Tommy Lee Jones is really was one of my favorite actors. And then in boning up for the Harvey Dent role, I saw his version of Two-Face in a Batman movie. Batman Forever. And he is no longer my favorite actor. Please don't tell Tommy Lee Jones that I said this, but he was fucking terrible. That whole movie was basically a terrible fiasco. Does anyone disagree with me?
No.
Wow, it's so rare to have that kind of consensus. We should relish this moment. That's really special. It's actually kind of cool to think about. That movie brought everybody together. Right? We can all agree that it was horrible. And they had some really great actors in there, and they managed to get terrible performances out of almost everybody, which is impressive, I think. Are we seeing eye to eye?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
good. Because that would be super awkward if you were like, actually, no, that's my favorite movie.
While Tommy Lee Jones's version was not so good, Aaron Eckhart in the Dark Knight series was fabulous.
I thought he did a great job as well. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I plan to have the definitive Harvey Dent, but you know. I mean, the cool thing about this particular version of it is that we're going to have a lot of time with that character, hopefully, which we'll have an opportunity. You know, these movies play out the entire arc of the character in a couple of hours, but I'll try to drag that on interminably. Great.
Me and my 3 friends, Kim and Jess, we all hail from your home state of Massachusetts.
We were wondering if there was some place in Massachusetts that is still there that you would suggest or would love to have done that we could go visit.
I pitched of what I thought to the producers was a very good idea for a road food pit stop, which was when I was 11, we lived for about 5 months in a tent in the woods next to this dairy farm. And me and my younger brother, who was 9 at the time, went to the dairy farm and said, hey, can we have a job here? And they did not want 2 children actually working on their farm. But there wasn't anything that we could actually contribute, but the farmer was so awesome. And so we spent the summer at this farm learning how to milk cows and like riding on his lap while he was mowing hay, and then baling hay and stacking it in the barn. And we thought we were farmers. And it was like the best version of summer camp you could possibly imagine. We were just getting our hands dirty and learning about farming. And this guy was basically babysitting these 2 homeless kids that were living in the woods next door, but made us feel like we were just helping him on the farm. And about 3 years ago, I was back home and I drove up to that farmhouse and I knocked on the door and I was like, hey. And this old man comes out, who was the farmer, who I hadn't seen in 30 years, 35 years, I don't know, whatever, 35 years. And I was like, hey, I don't know if you remember, but there were 2 kids that were living in the woods here, and you took us under your wing and let us, come work on your farm all summer. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember those boys. And I just said, well, that was me, and I just want to say thank you. So I would have loved to have, because the dairy farm, I thought it would be really cool to go there and like start an episode with that, because there's also all of these local creameries in Western Massachusetts. So like ice cream in New England is a big thing. Ben & Jerry's is from New England. And so I thought it'd be cool to like follow from like a small family dairy farm through to a creamery and do that. And maybe someday we will. Who knows? Yeah. Hi.
Hello. Mine may be a little bit of a silly question, but our kitten at home is named Castiel. So...
Is it Castiel or Catstiel?
Castiel. We call him Casti Smell, actually.
Casti Smell?
So I was actually just kind of curious if there is any character from Supernatural that you would think about naming a pet.
Oh, that's a great idea. No, it hadn't occurred to me. But I do like the idea of having a pet named for a character on the show.
Any particular one?
No, unfortunately, my brain went to making mean jokes about my castmates that I have to censor out. So I'm just letting it go. I have It's an angry mob all of a sudden. Never seen you so enthusiastic to hear me say something. You're going to be mean about your cast members? We want that! That's why we're here! That's why I got the fucking gold pass! My kids have a leopard gecko. It's about this big. Its name is Desert. It has severe anxiety. Always hiding under a rock. So boring. It's unbearable. Finally, I realized, you know what? I'm taking his rock away so he can't hide all the time because I want to see the leopard gecko, which of course then just makes him more anxious. It's a horrible cycle. But the kids found another lizard in the yard. They thought, well, maybe a friend would be helpful. And in the morning, there were 2 little arms. That was all that was left of the friend. Yeah. So, good, thanks.
Hi. So, my question is about if there was a world where everybody was human, what are the types of adorable things you think Cass might get up to with his life? You know, like, would he adopt a cat? Would he become a baker or own a coffee shop?
Where everyone was human?
Yeah.
Like all of the, we don't have to do our demon fighting, monster hunting anymore. We don't have to close the veil into another dimension or whatever because everything is all taken care of. And now what do?
I don't know, maybe, yeah, whatever things you think you would be, Cass would like to do with his spare time.
Yeah. I think Cass would probably get into like MMA fighting. Because in that environment, I think that he would just sort of savor and relish the sensation of having, you know, another person's blood covering his knuckles. You know, is that something like what you're thinking of?
I just think it's ironic because I'm covered in blood currently and talking through like sticky blood on my face, so.
What happened to you?
It's called cosplay.
Oh, good. Well, that's comforting. Or it's a good cover. Yeah. I wonder how often people do that. Like they go out and they axe murder somebody, and then they come to a convention and they're like, no, it's just like, you don't know for sure unless you taste it and you're like, that doesn't taste like corn syrup. What's going on? That tastes like O positive. What's happening?
It tastes like mint.
Sure. Well, that's freaked me out.
Hi, Misha. So
Hi.
my friends and I have started a religion as a joke, but it's kind of serious around Castiel because we just adore you so much and adore Cass, and we're wondering if you could give us one commandment for Castielism, what would it be? And I know there's quite a few Castielism people here, so we need a commandment.
So you've started a religion.
So our friend Christina started it. She's not here today, but yes, we started.
So she's like the high priestess of
She is, yes.
Okay.
I'm just a lonely heller.
Wow, it sounds like there are quite a few of you. Can I ask you just a basic question? How do you discern between a religion and a cult?
It's kind of, religion, we have a Bible.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's a cult.
Okay. And have you done any of the like sort of classic cult stuff, like you're gonna ask everybody to renounce their relationships with their close friends and family and that sort of thing? I'm just saying it's an option. You could do that. You could do that. It might be a fun thing to do, make it feel a little bit more cultish. Maybe everybody could give up all of their possessions. No. You know? And then, I'm not saying like that it has to go to me, but that could be cool. Like that could be a cool like little tie-in, like because I was the actor that played Castiel, and it's like a Castiel cult, and everybody renounces all of their worldly possessions and like literally transfers all the funds in their bank accounts to my bank account. And it would feel more authentic, I think, for everybody, right? So that I guess that's it. Let's do that. Cool. This is great. Love this.
So I don't know how much time you get to watch TV, but I was wondering if you had seen the new HBO show, Our Flag Means Death. And if you have, who your favorite character is.
Yes, so my favorite character is Jeff. Our what? What is the show?
Our Flag Means Death. It's a gay pirate show.
Death. Our Flag Means Death? Well, this is the first I've heard of it, so I don't necessarily have a favorite character yet. I don't watch a ton of television, but I have been watching a few shows recently. I've been watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel for some reason. And I just started, I know I'm way behind on this, but I just started Succession. And I watched some of Gotham in sort of boning up for my show, just to see what else was out there. For some reason, my son watches television like he is a binge watcher. And I don't even know how he's finding the time, because I thought I was restricting his screen time. But he'll be like, I just finished all of the seasons of The Flash. And I was like, wait, where, how? How did you do that? But he likes things like Arrested Development, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and 30 Rock, and very adult shows that an 11-year-old should not be watching. I was like, giving up. I had a birds and bees conversation. I was like, it's time we talk about sex, kids. And West was like, no, Dad, we are not having this conversation. And we were on a hike in the woods, and I was like, okay, so the way it works is when a man and a woman, and he was like, oh, I'm not listening, putting his fingers in his ears, but every time he'd take his fingers out of his ears, I'd be like, and then there's an erection. But anyway, like most of the way through that, like chopped up sex ed class that I was sort of almost forcefully administering to the kids. They were like, no, we don't want to hear it. I was like, you have to hear it eventually. They both were like, look, we know all about sex. We watched Friends. So, really? What happens in Friends that, okay. I don't know why I'm telling you these things. I know where I was going. Supernatural is a show that I realize I haven't seen all of. Have I ever admitted that publicly? No. I have, okay. It occurs to me, like, I watched, like a lot of the first season, and then I was like catching up before I got on the show, and then after that I was like, well, I'll watch the episodes that are coming out now because I'm in them, and who doesn't want to watch themselves? And then eventually, like, it was like, wait, I don't think I ever filled in the gap. I don't think I ever watched all of the episodes. So my kids have finally broached the subject. They're like, we think it's time, Dad. Time for what? We think it's time to watch Supernatural. And I feel like I have caused them enough emotional harm that it won't further scar them, probably. And they're old enough and resilient enough to know that a lot of those beheadings were not real. I'm not going to tell you which ones where we actually beheaded local higher caste, but there were a few. But I realized just how daunting it is, because we did the math. It's one thing to watch, Curb Your Enthusiasm or something. Because they're like 22 episodes, 22 minutes long or 23 minutes long, and there's only a handful of 10 seasons, something like that. Supernatural, if you watch, I don't know if you realize this, but if you watch all 390 episodes or whatever we did, 327. Whatever! It will take up your entire, it will take a year. Like if you watch an episode. Okay, but you watched it in a month. You watched it in a month? What the fuck is wrong with you? How does that happen? How could you possibly? You watch while you're driving? She just said, I watch while I drive, while I'm at work. Who's your employer? Does your employer know this? This is unacceptable.
No, like when we're doing like things that if it's not busy, like they allow us to like do side work, so we like
They allow you to do side work? It's not work. I'm just saying. Maybe. That's amazing. That's horrifying. Yeah. Anyway, thanks. It's been a nice talk.
My question is, so I have a Winter Soldier tattoo that when I'm really depressed or my anxiety is really high, I can look at and it makes me feel better. And I really want a Castiel tattoo, and I was wondering, because Castiel kind of does the same thing for me, so I was wondering if you had any ideas for a Castiel tattoo.
Well, that's a lot of pressure. You could do like a big Cass tattoo on your butt. And then you could be able to tell people, I put the ass in Cass. You're welcome.
Hello, I'm Shelley. Hi, Misha.
How are you?
You look good today.
What did you just say?
You look good today.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you.
What was it like being at the Oscars last year?
What was it like being at the Oscars?
Yeah.
It was awesome. My oldest, dearest friend, Darius Martyr, was he wrote and directed a movie that was nominated for six different categories, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Screenplay, a lot of kind of heavy-hitting categories, and he won in 2, and it was really lovely. My when I was talking about reaching out to friends, Darius is a good example of that. We're like chosen brothers. We've known each other since we were 12 years old, and we've both gone through some very difficult things in the last couple of years, and we've really been there for each other in a way that I think is not often condoned for men in America. We're like doing serious therapy on each other, and it is just lovely to have a human that it's lovely for each of us to have someone in the world that knows one another so well. But we've also been best friends since we were 12, and there was a lot of competition, and kind of like there were chapters in our lives when we were like trying to keep one another down, or making little asides about how the work that the other was doing really didn't amount to much. We were dicks. We were like brothers, and as we've gotten a little bit older, and as we've both landed a measure of success in our careers, I mean, having a movie that's getting 6 Oscar nominations is pretty incredible. It is so lovely to have a friend for whom I have nothing but goodwill. Like, his success felt like my success. So it was so nice to be able to share that experience at the Oscars. And it was also very cool that he muscled me in there, because it was a COVID pandemic Oscars where nobody was allowed to come. Like, nobody had +1s. So it was really awesome to be able to get in there, and then we were seated at a prominent booth, and I sat in such a way that I was like in front of him, so that when the cameras tried to get a shot of Darius, I was obstructing the view. And so as they were like announcing like the nominees, it would be my face, and Darius sort of trying to peek out from behind me, which was kind of cool. It was kind of nice to be able to not just share the limelight, but actually take the limelight from him in that moment. Yeah.
How's everything go well?
I think it's been okay. Yeah, we had some ups and downs. There was a woman that came up that was covered in the blood of one of our victims.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, just another Saturday.
Yeah. But yeah, they've been pretty good. They got a little bit riled up a couple of times.
Yeah.
There was at one point where I said, like, maybe I won't insult my castmates, and they were like, ugh. They didn't throw stuff at me, but that's just because the only things they had were their phones.
Right. I had to record it. I get it.
So it's been nice. It's been nice finally being back in New Jersey and seeing a lot of faces that we haven't seen in over 2 years.
Right.
But obviously the pandemic has made them a lot meaner.
Right. Well, that's understandable. Oh well, it's happening again. They're very a lot of energy coming. Well, we love Misha anyway, right? He's our favorite. He's my favorite. Misha Collins. He's our child.
What's up? Hey guys!
Oh God. No, you also have to break the microphone.
Stop it.
Now break the microphone.
We just got here. Oh, I miss my buddy. He sends his love. I spoke with him yesterday, and he said he can't be here. I don't know if you guys know what's going on.
No.
He was, and he's okay with me sharing this. I asked him if that was fine. He was in a very bad car accident.
Oh my God.
He wasn't driving, he was in the passenger seat, and he's lucky to be alive. And not only that, but he's home recovering, which
Oh, thank God.
the fact that he's not even in a hospital right now is like blowing my mind, because I saw the car. But it was no fatalities, but he's recovering, he sends his love, he that airbag packs a punch. And he's like, I feel like I went 12 rounds with Tyson. But he is, he's doing okay, and he's moving around, and but yeah, really, really bad car accident. So just keep it in your thoughts, send him some love, get a chance on social, and he'll be back with us soon. So there you go. He'll be back, messing up mic stands before we know it. It'll be great. So if you have questions for him, I'm happy to answer them. In only a way that I can. So let's go for it. Yes.
So Jared.
Yeah?
How do you like being Walker?
I should have worked on my Jared impression, man. Oh, it's great. I get to wear 2 belts, and who doesn't like that? It's like some frat guy.
My serious question.
Okay, sorry. All right.
It's all good. No, I wanted to see that. The prequel.
Yes, the prequel.
Yes. We read the premise of it, and it seems a little bit further off from canon. I'm just wondering what your thought process was with that and whatnot, because I'm really interested to see kind of where it goes.
Hook, line, and sinker. We floated those things out for a reason. There was a script that hit, and like, perfect. That's nothing. What is it? That's nothing like the real script. So with the prequel, was, and if you think about it, there's not a lot of canon that was established on the mothership, as we call it. But there was enough. And it was kind of glossed over, a lot of how Mary met John and how that whole situation happened. But the points that were made on Supernatural are kind of like our waypoints. So we'll hit those, but we'll hit them in a way that maybe we didn't expect. Which is, you know, I've said this before, it's kind of going back to the late great Kim Manners in directing Supernatural. He was like, listen, we got to give them what they want in a way they won't expect it. So that's kind of what, that's our mantra with this, is we're going to hit those points, and we're going to make sure that we touch those, and that those are tent poles of what the story is, but we get to fill in the gap. And we're going to do it in a way that I think is well, first off, entertaining, but also services the lore that is Supernatural.
Yeah, my friends and I were a little worried. We're like, wait, what's going to happen? Are they going to?
Well, and she said that her friends and her were worried about it. And so, yeah, look, I'm not some guy that hasn't been a part of Supernatural for 15 years, right? I'm not some random dude that's coming in going like, "Man, I got an idea."
I'm sorry, who did you play?
Yeah, exactly. This story means a lot to me, but there's also an entertainment value that is especially important to me, and Robbie and everybody involved. So, again, we want to service what has been established, but we want to get creative in the way that we get there.
Okay.
So that's the best way I can describe it without giving too much away. And when we get to the point where I can like share more, I'd love to just, hi, good morning, good morning. You're not crying like I am internally. Not yet. It's fine if you do. It's me. Just kidding. So when, you know, hopefully you guys do get to see this, and when you do, I can't wait to kind of give you the soft pitch of what I called Warner Brothers and said, I got an idea. And then CW and said, hey, what do you think about this? The elevator pitch, they call it. Because that then kind of sets up where we're going. So hopefully I will share that at some point, but not right now.
Well, thank you. I'm more excited for it now.
Thank you. All right, all the way back with the plaid red shirt. Yeah, you.
Okay, hi. First of all, I just want to say I'm a big fan of your wife.
We have that in common.
What?
We have that in common.
Yes. Lucky man. Anyways, so my question is, if she had to say that you were bad at something, what would it be? Like, not something that's like, oh, it's so cute that he's not good at that. Like, you're good at everything, so what's something you are genuinely bad at?
Organizational skills. I'm very much a typical man. So Daniil had COVID last week, and had to sit out. We're down in New Orleans producing the pilot right now, and she and I have been on set every day. She tested positive. Had to sit out for 5 days per protocol. She's fine. She's fine. But while that was happening, so I moved into my daughter's room, and she quarantined in the. Of course, she took the primary bedroom, as it should. Had it been me, had it been in the backyard, just so we're clear. She'd be like, oh, you got to move out. Like, you got to get a hotel room. No, she gets to hang out in the big suite and like a nice bathroom, and I'm on the 3rd floor in a kid room. But that's fine. Anyway, my point being is that she came up there a few days later, and it's as though my stuff exploded. in my daughter's room. Amongst my 8-year-old stuff had exploded as well. She runs a tight ship, like a tight ship. And when things aren't in order, she fixes them, or at least makes people fix them quickly. That's probably what she would say. She's like, he needs to tidy himself up. So that's, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. And I try, I really do. Like the dishes and stuff, I just put them in the sink and I'm like, that's good. That's off the table, rinse them in the sink, boom. Gold star. No, she comes in and she's like, it's right here. How hard is that? I'm like, but that's not here. I don't think like that.
Reason 1000 why we love to kneel.
Reason 1000 why you left the needle? Yeah, well, I've got a few thousand more, but yes. Thank you.
Thank you for last night.
Thank you for last night.
Would you be so kind to sing like the first 4 or 5 lines of Sounds of Someday for us?
Absolutely not.
Please.
But
Any song.
if we get Steve here one day, maybe we'll. Steve is actively working in the studio as we speak on our 3rd album.
How about 2 or 3 lines from Simple Man?
Stop it! I gave you that last night. Was last night not enough? She's like, no. No, it wasn't. Oh my gosh.
What is something that you have really loved, like one of your favorite things either in real life or like from playing your character Dean on the show? What is something you would take with you in real life or can relate to, or your favorite part?
Baby. I took that with me. And I mean, look, that character is Dean's a part of me. You know, like as much as actors like to be like, oh, that was you know, something that I was an existential thing. No. Dean was a hyped up version of a part of me. You don't play somebody for 15 years and not have that. It's not even a relationship. It's you know, it's just it's a version of me. So hopefully I get to play other versions of me too, because as everyone knows, humans are complex people, and we have a lot of. I'm not like multi-personality, you know, I think. Maybe I am. I don't know. Dean's one of them. But as far as like taking it, like, look, there's a lot of things I took. When I directed Walker, they wanted to put in all these like supernatural Easter eggs, right? And I was like, well, I have the cooler, and I have this, and I have that. And they're like, geez, klepto, like what? And I had 15 years to like, you know, put a list together. And to be honest, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I gave a list to the props department. I was like, these are the things that I'd like.
Robin and Maisie had your back.
So Baby showed up with a trunk full of shit. It's Baby's birthday today. Yeah. How old would that make Baby? 55. 55! It's 65, I know, but I just had to say that.
I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about when you were directing Walker. How was it directing Jared again?
Jared and I are going to have a shorthand for the rest of our lives. period. You don't spend that much time with somebody and work with somebody that long, and not have a deep-rooted communication level. So me giving him notes kind of turned people. The people were like, what? Like I would give him like director acting notes by quoting a movie to him, like that kind of stuff. And he'd be like, yeah, got it. I'd be like, Jared, hey, on this next take, shake and bake. Meanwhile, people were like, what? What's that? Or I would just be like, Jared. Be like, got it, okay. Does anybody know what that means? No. Speed it up. That's it. With everybody else, I'm like, okay, listen, when so-and-so says this, I just need to like, let's ramp that up a bit. Let's like get through that whole conversation much quicker. Let's get the pace going. But, I'll explain it. Jared, literally, hey! And he gets it, he's like, got it. So with him, it's so easy. It's in harmony. And Jared and I are gonna be in harmony for the rest of our lives. That's just how it is. But with that, it's fun to mess with the harmony too. So I had some fun stuff, but I think it was Ashley who plays Cassie. Wonderful actress, wonderful person. I came on set the first time, and she was like, oh man, I've got to, we got to talk. You got to tell me how to navigate this guy. And in front of the whole crew, who I did not know. I did not know these people. I literally just walked on set. I'm like, navigate this one? Oh, it's easy. Just sit back and let him sink himself. Everyone was like, oh. I'm like, right? Am I, oh. Jokes! That's what we do. Well, it's gonna be a long 7 days. But it wasn't. They got it very quickly. The crew's amazing, and the cast is awesome, and it was fun to flex that with Jared in front of a new crowd. And the best thing was that all of our really, really stale old jokes had a new audience. Dad jokes for days. All right, one last one. Gotta love Jersey. It's vocal. Like, right here. I got your last one. Right in here. All right, let's hear it. Stand up. We got a mic coming for you. Jersey. Gotta love it.
Which is funny because I'm not even from here.
Of course not. But you're embracing the culture.
Yeah, why not?
What's up?
So it is clear that Dean has a strong bond with Cass, and he cares for him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't, he's a man of action. He's not a man of words that, tell him, things that he might tell him. If Dean were to write a letter to Cass about things that he appreciates, that, he is what he does for not, for Dean mostly, but for everybody else, for Sam too, what do you think Dean would say?
He wouldn't write anything. Because Dean doesn't do that, nor do I. I've gotten so lazy now, I'm doing like the voice text messages. Those I'm like, I don't even text anymore. I'm just like, hey, listen, I'm running late. Dean would leave a voicemail for Cass and be like, hey, you're appreciated. I'm not gonna get into it, but just know that you're appreciated. I gotta go. How do you stop this thing?
So it's like real life with with you on like the.
So it's
Twitter
real
one.
life. See, again, Dean, right here. I got it. It's not that far off. It's not a stretch. I have so many jokes that I could just throw Misha under the bus right now, but I'm not going to. Stay tuned because later I might. Bye guys, thank you.
It's so as I said, you know, tonight's a night where it's kind of a special night. It's like we're kind of getting the band back together. I mean, the band Loud and Swing was always together, but our sort of extended family, a lot of them haven't been here as of late for other reasons. But tonight, the stars align, and we get people like Adam Fergus. We get Chris Shelby back on bass. And we got this next guy, Jensen Ackles!
And I love you too.
I won't need someone to help me. I won't need somebody's hand. I won't need someone to hold on. I won't need someone to care. Run around and shake my body. I don't pull it out my head. I won't do myself. Where nobody's looking down. Son of a bitch! Give me a break! Love all night! Can't be me! Son of a bitch! You can't get me! I'm gonna drink my life away. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Somebody give me a goddamn drink. Son of a bitch! Give me a drink. One more night. Can't be me. Son of a bitch. Can't get clean. I'm gonna drink my bugs are crawling all over me. My heart is breaking, there's a shake. Bugs are crawling all over me. My heart is breaking, there's a shake. Bugs are crawling all over me. My heart is breaking, there's a shake. Bugs are crawling all over me. Shit! Son of a I'm gonna drink my own way.
Jensen Ackles.